What's up, guys? This will be the start of my new YouTube channel, and hopefully some of my followers off TikTok will navigate on over. I'm starting this so I can do longer videos and actually show my process instead of disappearing for months on end and then randomly coming back with a new video and then, disappearing again. And, for everyone's sake, let's just hope and pray that my YouTube skills have hopefully improved since this past time.
Hey guys, it's Anonymous Animation.
And so, as we're moving on from that, today I will be designing a creepypasta OC to kick off this channel because it's Old Faithful and I've been clawed back into the fandom even though I've desperately tried to escape. I crafted a Pinterest board of the vibe I wanted this character to give. Then I took the most prevalent photos from it and I put it onto the canvas just to have some references to look at as I was creating it. And I pasted my sketch on there, and I really didn't want to redesign it, or redraw it at least. So the vibe I wanted him to give, mostly, was creepypasta, obviously, but also tactical, military type gear, as seen with the tactical gear on the side, and also the gas mask and the gun and everything. I gave him the rifle as his weapon of choice because I thought the silhouette of it looked cooler. I don't know if it's a rifle, don't quote me on that. I'm not well versed on guns. I debated giving him a pistol, but I just didn't like the look of it. And then I gave him a knife with a bone handle, just so if he ran out of ammunition, I could have him use that instead in this theoretical lore that I have yet to write. With the gas mask, I blocked out the shapes just so I could get a good idea of what I'm doing here. And then I just took what I learned from that blocking out and I applied it to the face. I toyed around with the idea of just having a mask and goggles as seen in Tiki Toby, but, I decided that'd be a little too close to that design, and sadly, I cannot copy it because that's just unoriginal. I ended up going with the gas mask because not many of the creepypastas I'm interested in I've seen with gas masks. I've just seen them with either that Jeff the Killer smile or the half face mask. And I guess I'm cutting it a little close with X-Virus and all that, but whatever. It's an old fandom. There's bound to be reused elements of designs in there. I decided to give him top surgery scars because I figured trans men needed a little more representation than Cave Town, Gotcha Life mini movies and YouTube short films from 2013. I actually decided on the gas mask after doing a little bit of research being scrolling on Pinterest and deciding what look I liked. I liked the multiple respirator areas. I don't know if that's what they're actually called, but sue me. I mainly decided on the gas mask, not only because of the shape of it, but also because it looked a little more post-apocalyptic, which is kind of what I was also going for when designing this character. For his nose, I struggled quite a bit until I drew that little reference thingy, whatever, guidelines, whatever it's called, I don't care. I also decided to make his eyes look a lot more tired because I didn't want him to look, like he was getting too much sleep now. He is a creepypasta after all. And I gave him more defined cheekbones. You'll see this in a second. Because I just had a specific look in mind for him, and that's what fit the look. I was going for, him, but there's something a little off. You can visibly see that something's a little off. And for his body, I couldn't get it right. And I still don't think I got it right, actually. Now that I'm voicing this over. But, it is what it is. For his scars, I didn't want them to look too stereotypical. But I wanted him to have, a lot. Not just sparse ones. But I didn't want him to have the, Jeff the Killer smile. And I didn't want to copy Toby's, mouth cutout thing. So I just decided on drawing a simple one across the other side of the face and focusing more on the whatever side of the face that is. And I also gave him a cleft lip type thing just to make it look a little more interesting. And then I'll probably have to add lore for that now that I'm thinking about it when I actually write it. But, life goes on. A main thing about him that I wanted was to avoid the edgy, 2015 Warrior Cats OC scar look. I wanted the scars to have some character to them and be a bit sporadically placed and not just super edgy and edgelord like. In that thought, the claw mark scars, I wanted it to seem like he got attacked in the forest, since this will be a little after he already becomes a proxy, so this will be when he's already going out on missions. So I wanted him to have more defensive, offensive wounds, whatever the word is. I also wanted to give his top surgery scars a little more character, so they weren't so much as clean cut. I don't know what could have caused it, but that's that we'll just leave that up to the universe, I guess. Back to the gas mask. I really wanted it to have Plague Doctor look without it being Plague Doctor, as I've mentioned before, I think. I also do apologize for all the mouth noises and how odd this first video is going to be. I'm currently sitting in a car recording this with no proper microphone or sound deafening system or anything, just because I'm testing it out. I've wanted to do this for years now. I've just never had the motivation or energy to, but I finally decided, why not? What's there to lose? And I thought Creepypasta would be a good start because, revealing my age a little bit, I'm on the younger side, to say the least, because I've been obsessed with this since 2016, and I was 6 back then. So not my best look, but whatever. And now, starting on his clothes, I gave him a muscle top because I've just liked how they looked recently, and I picked out this bomber airline type jacket for him just because I like how the shape is, if that makes sense. I like how it puffs out a bit and then tapers at the bottom. I also like the cargo effect, how much room for storage there is, just for lack of a better word, storage, I guess. I tried to make it look somewhat realistic, but clothing has never been my strong suit. You can see me try to block out the shapes again, like I did with the gas mask. Up to y'all to decide if that actually worked or not. I'm not entirely sure. You'll notice that unlike when I was drawing the gas mask and erasing lines depending on where the hair cut in, I'm not going to do that here for the actual lines of the body and the scars, because I'm just going to make this a separate sprite eventually once it's done being colored, and just slide it on over. So there's a semi-accurate scar chart, to say the least. This is also the first opportunity I've had to edit a video this long, since I really haven't had reason to make one. You can see here how much I toy with the color of his hair, because I wanted him to be blonde, but I didn't like how a lot of the blondes looked. I didn't want it to be too light, but I didn't want it to be too muddy, so I eventually settled on this somewhat blonde with a brown ombre. So for his lore, I'm thinking about starting how most of them do, and starting in the childhood, teenage years area, and possibly either having him run away or just ending up in a forest somewhere and meeting Slender Man. As stereotypical as it is, it's kind of the only basis I have here. I chose a reddish orangish color for his eyes, not to be edgy or anything, just because I thought it fit well with the palette. I don't know if that was a bad choice or not, but whatever. It's part of his design now. As for the shading, I'm not entirely sure if it's in the correct spots or anything, but art's subjective, I guess. I just followed what I remembered from tutorials months ago. In all fairness, though, I am actually very excited to create a Creepypasta OC. Not only because all the OCs are technically canon, since basically all the popular creepypastas are just OCs that got really popular, but because I've wanted to create one since I learned about it when I was 6. I'd say another age with that, but people are a little immature right now with those two numbers. But I was just scared of being seen as cringy or trying to come across as edgy, since I had internet access far too early. I was always worried about those such things. Clearly not enough, seeing as that YouTube intro was somehow created. I initially wanted to make him super overpowered, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it. So he's just like a regular guy. That's pretty much it, a regular guy with a gun who went a little insane. If I do end up getting new subscribers or followers on TikTok from this, please have some faith. I will get better at this editing and voiceover thing. Till then, at least you can mute the video and enjoy the art. I will also be doing research on how to improve, and if you guys have tips, please drop them down below. And I've been in a kind of like art slump these past few months, and I haven't actually liked a single thing I've created, but I can say this is probably one of the best things I've made in a while. In future videos, I'll probably just redraw or redesign, a lot of re's, and explain the lore of my actual main OCs. It's a lot gayer, I'll tell you that much. Just saying that so people don't only expect this character of me. I tried to add some like wear and tear on his outfit, so I cracked one of the lenses, and I obviously shaded the jacket. I still don't know if it's the right shading, but who really cares? But I added some like blood splatter. It won't be this vibrant in a second, I'll adjust it. But I added that just to show this is his main jacket that he uses, and that kind of to hint that he doesn't really care if he's too messy during the killings. Not to romanticize serial killers or anything, but it is the creepypasta fandom, so like, give me a break. I actually don't like how I drew the gun here, but whatever. It doesn't have to be perfect. But switching back to talking about the channel, I know I keep switching back and forth, but it's my first time officially. I think I'll try to upload like once every month, at least, possibly twice, depending on like my effort. Then I might have to revisit this or pre-plan videos for when school starts back up in August, because sadly I'm not rid of that thing. If you're wondering what I'm doing in the video, I'm actually sorting different things out so I can use it to make a ref sheet. That's kind of what this whole video is. It's making a ref sheet for him. I haven't been the best with making them in the past, so I'm trying to experiment. I don't typically add like side profiles or like the back view or scar charts or anything. I just do like a full body and then a headshot straight on. So I'm trying to get out of the habit of that and make it a little more visually appealing. I can pop a image of like my last one. The image shown is of my main OC, Soren. He's kind of like, I guess you could say, the main character in my normal lore, but I haven't quite written it yet. That's a common theme you'll notice later on. I write a lot, I just can't get the story straight. Now, as we're actually closing up on the video, I'm doing his side profile, and as you can see in a minute, I cannot leave his hair alone. I wanted it to have like a fluffy wolf look. Not like a wolf cut, but like a wolf's fur, to kind of pan back to that wolf that was in the reference photos and all that. But I couldn't leave it alone for long enough, so it kind of turned into a mess at one point. But I think it ended up looking alright, if anything. Then for the actual naming of him, I went back and forth with one of my friends, and I'm saying we, but it was mostly her. We decided on Cash. I was just gonna name him something stupid like Dollar and make up something about him being found behind a Dollar Tree, but clearly that didn't work out. I named him Cash James Jones because I don't know, it was calling to me, and I really like the last name Jones, and also I have a problem with imagining everyone's middle name is James, so there's that feeding into it. Then for this actual background, I was experimenting a lot. I don't know if it comes off that way, but yeah, it wasn't how I normally do stuff. I wanted it to have a bit more texture in it and more visual aspects. I decided to set him at like 20 for this drawing because I feel like he looks it at least. I made him like 5'8" just to be realistic, and also I have a problem with making my OCs pretty tall. Anyway, as this comes to a close, I'm hoping this was a somewhat good first video, and I'm hoping that you guys liked how it turned out. I'll update with his lore. Obviously, I don't think I'm getting out of this phase anytime soon, but here's the finished product. Do with it what you will. And then I'll link my TikTok in the description if you want to see more.